All right, Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome to the first episode of the Clay Edwards Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Man, I want everybody to sit down, strap in, and hold on. We're about to go to war for the soul of America from the Generator Power Solutions Studio at the Cotton Exchange Plaza out here in Florida, Mississippi. I'm so excited. We fought for so long to get this opportunity to be able to have a voice, to be able to be the voice. You guys have helped me out so much along the way. You've encouraged me. You've hated on me. You've done all these things, and I've used it all. I appreciate every last one of you. And I don't consider this to have anything to do with me. I always tell people I'm kind of the voice of the voiceless. I say what people are scared to say, what cancel culture has scared people out of saying. I've decided that the last thing these folks want to do is cancel me, because the minute that I feel like I have nothing to lose is when I have everything to gain. So with that said, again, welcome to the first episode of the Clay Edwards Show, coming at you live from the Generator Power Solutions Studio. If you guys want to partake in anything that we're doing here today, callers are welcome. We are live. You can call the Black Axes Throwing Club phone line at 601-879-0002, or you can email me at clay@wyab.com. Man, I am so excited. I can't tell y'all. I hardly slept last night. Got up this morning. I've had a knot in my stomach all morning. I'm just ready, excited. Just had to break the glass. Came in with a little bit of Stone Cold Steve Austin music there, because that's kind of how I feel, man. So look, little introduction about me. If you don't know me and you're tuning in to 103.9 WYAB this morning, you're like, who is this guy? Look, I'm here every Tuesday with Kim Wade. I have a pretty successful podcast called the Save JXN podcast at Save Jackson. I run a big social media platform called Save Jackson, JXN. We've got about 50,000 followers here, mostly local, I assume, or people that used to live here. And we do a nightly live stream a couple nights a week on our Facebook page, YouTube, all that. And one door opened, another door opened, and here we are. So I just want to thank everybody. If you ever partied in Jackson, Mississippi, anytime through the 2000s, it was probably at one of my nightclubs. I'm an old nightclub owner, bar owner, a little rough around the edges, but I got saved about 3 years ago by Pastor Terry Fan at Hickory Ridge Baptist Church, and here I am, man. Well, if you had told me this was going to be a reality, I'd have called you a liar a couple of years ago. A lot of people I want to thank along the way, and we'll get to that over the next few weeks. We're going to start with the news here. The news is never good in Jackson, is it? We're sitting at 14 homicides, and it's only February 1st. There's only been 20, I say only, but relatively speaking, only 27 COVID deaths in the entire state. Only one in Hinds County. Now, this was through last night. I haven't checked the numbers this morning. So one COVID death in all of Hinds County versus 14 homicides in just Jackson. But we're not going to make this show about Jackson today. I got something much bigger planned, but I did want to get that out there early to let you know. I mean, we're dealing with dueling pandemics here. Jackson, Mississippi, and COVID. So but just be careful out there, man. Be careful of your surroundings. And if you have a problem with somebody, because a lot of these are what they call domestic issues. It's people that you know, or people that know each other, should I say. Neighbors, friends, family members in a lot of cases. Try to get somebody that you trust to talk it out with y'all. You know, get you a mediator. Man, we got to start squashing some of this beef before it escalates into murder, because 2 lives get lost that day. The person who dies and the person who goes to jail for a very long time. There's no coming back from that. You know, you'll never get that off your conscience of killing a person. So I just wanted to throw that out there, man. That's the news for the day. We're gonna get away from the negative, and kind of get this party started. I want to let you know again to call us at the Black Axis Throwing Line phone number is 601-879-0002. You can check out Black Axis Throwing Club at one of their 2 Central Mississippi locations in Flowood and then in Pearl at the Outlets of Mississippi. And they are opening one in North Park here soon, so stay tuned for details. And speaking of Black Axis Throwing Club, I've been teasing this on social media for a couple days. We're going to have a big launch party for this show, right? When everybody's invited out. Man, I want to meet everybody. We're going to have a good time. It is going to be Saturday night, February 20th, at the Black Axis Throwing Club's Flowood location. That's out there in Fannin Mart, I believe is the name of that shopping center. It's right in front of Fannin Lanes. We're going to have a great time. My good friend and local legend, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Chad Wesley, Malaco recording artist, blues guitar virtuoso, is going to play live for us. We're going to be throwing axes, drinking cold beer, and just having a great time. So mark your calendars for Saturday night, February 20th. Black Axis Throwing Club in Flowood. It's going to be the Clay Edwards Show launch party with special guest Chad Wesley playing live. All right, so I went to a men's steak dinner, a men's conference type thing at church the other night. It was Friday night. My pastor would not take no for an answer. Text me 3 or 4 times throughout the week. Have you paid yet? Have you signed up yet? Have you signed up yet? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. I think I'm going to get it. I'm having some technical difficulties. I was kind of putting it off, and I really did plan on it, but I'm easily distracted. Well, he held my feet to the fire. I bought a couple tickets, tried to get my dad to go with me. He couldn't make it. So I went out there by myself, which is always unique, walking in a big room crowded by yourself. I understand the nerves, why some people don't do that. So look, man, we sat down, and there was a great speaker. It was a great night of worship, fellowship. And there was a man named Keith Boggs from Real Momentum Ministries out of Georgia, I believe up north of Atlanta. And he discussed the 6 things that men struggle with. And I kind of manipulated it a little bit. It's 6 things that men struggle with secretly. I think men are very scared to talk about a lot of these things, so therefore we struggle with them. And I added a 7th at the very end because it's something that I personally battled with and would still do to this day, and you may not believe that or not. So I want to talk about those things, and I'm telling you, I want you guys to call in and take part in this show. The Black Axis Throwing Line phone number is 601-879-0002. So please call in if any of this jumps out at you and you want to chime in. So we're going to do the first 3 here. The dad wound is number 1. Also known as daddy issues, father problems. This is something that I believe is the root of a lot of the problems in, say, a city like Jackson and across America. And not just Jackson, it's in rural areas as well. There's a lot of men who grow up, well, we always associate daddy issues with crazy women, right? Well, there's guys that deal with that too, and they just deal with it differently. I was blessed to be raised by a great father, so this is the only one thing on this list the box I can't check. So I was blessed in there. But there's a lot of men that have that, or don't have that, should I say, that father figure in their life. That guy to say, hey, I'm proud of you, son. Us guys that have had that, man, we really take that for granted. I don't have a son, but I have a couple daughters. I try to tell them all the time. They get mad at me, but I'm like, you did a great job. It's cheesy to just randomly tell your kid I'm proud of you. But there's a lot of men who have dealt with that, and they look up to the wrong people as their fatherly influence. They look up to guys out in the streets. Maybe it's a rapper. Maybe it's a rock star. Maybe it's an athlete. Maybe it's a drug dealer. You just don't know. You don't know who these kids are looking up to. Maybe you have a single mom. She's at work doing all she can to keep the family going. So it's really tough. So I do understand their struggle. And I think that is a lot of what's going on around us, is the lack of solid fathers in homes. You know, maybe you have a father in home. Maybe it's abusive. Maybe he has alcohol or drug problems. I believe I'm probably talking to an adult crowd here, so maybe you grew up with a father in the home. Maybe you're that father that is causing daddy issues for your kid, and you just don't even realize it. I believe for a little while I was that father before I got saved and got my life right. So just be mindful of that. You know, if you got a guy that you work with or friends with that you know has had some issues, maybe they lost their father and they don't know how to fill that gap. Reach out to those folks, man. Be a friend. Let them know if they need you, you're there. You'll always be there. You know, that means a lot to somebody going through a struggle. So number two, the lack of manhood vision. Now, the way I deciphered this was really simple. It is what you don't understand what it takes to be a godly man, a leader in the house, a leader in the family. You know, sometimes, you know, and for me, it goes back to not being your kid's best friend. You know, sometimes you got to make the tough decisions. Being a good husband. Hang on one second. We've got a caller. Well, they hung up. So being a good husband, all of these things are very important. The lack of manhood vision. You know, what does it take? Whether it's physical, mental toughness. These are all things that we as men have to work on. I do it every day. You know, it's just like, man, I just want to drink my coffee. I've been forcing myself to get up and get on the treadmill, read the Bible more, watch more motivational stuff, and all of that. So try to have a vision. Make a list. It's like, what can I do to be a better father, husband, and man today? You know, there's Dr. Jordan Peterson is a great start. You go to YouTube, type in Dr. Jordan Peterson, and he is really great at these things. Look, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on WYAB 103.9. All right, welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. We are here at the Generator Power Solutions Studio at 103.9 WYAB, and we have our first caller, Jerry. We got Jerry on the line. Jerry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for taking the call. I just wanted to call in and wish you good luck. When I heard you this morning, I kind of got surprised. I didn't know you had this thing in the bag, but heard you a few times on Kim's show, and I pretty much, you probably don't remember me, but I definitely remember you. We've met many times. I was a patron of some of your previous businesses, knew a lot of your employees, things of that nature, and just wanted to tell you that I'm happy for a South Jackson boy, you know, trying to do a good thing. Thank you for your voice, your ministry, and just want to say good luck.
Hey, Jerry, I appreciate that so much, man. Thank you for calling in this morning. Look, man, shoot me a text, or not a text, but shoot me a Facebook message or something so I know who I'm talking to. And I much appreciate it.
I will.
All right. We got Scott here.
Hey, yeah. Well, so, yeah, they're breaking you in real good, Clay.
I know, man. I'm trying to.
If you can't handle caller line issues on the fly, you're not going to make it talk radio.
Man, look, they drop you in, show you what to do, and that's it. But I got the boss man here clicking some buttons for me, so I'm gonna get it figured out. It's a lot.
There you go.
The phone line is a nice added terror on my end. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm doing great. Well, look, it's nice to be able to hit you up on your little personal text so you'll know what's going on. I do that with Kim every now and then. I've been fortunate enough to, have his personal line because his personal life is his business. I mean, he puts it out there. He wants everybody to be able to be involved with him. So I'm glad you're the same way. Look, I'm terrible with names. Remind me, is Roy your dad's name?
Roy.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Man, Roy is doing great.
I'm gonna tell you, you're right. A couple of things that stick with me over the years that I've known you, and a little bit of context to the listeners out there. You know, I work with you in some of your clubs with our boy Trigg. I've seen him, you know, here and there, and he's doing great. God bless him. And one of the things that stuck with me was, you know, you sold me a car a few years back, And you actually, we were talking, you were just kind of catching up. We're both kind of getting a little bit long in the tooth. How's it going, this and that? And I think I mentioned something about church or being blessed or this and that sort of thing. And I remember you asked me, so what are you talking about? What's all that? And it's on the test drive. And you said, so how is that for you? You were curious. You already knew in your spirit that there was something out there. There was something going on, and you heard it from me. And I wasn't trying to witness to you. You were just being a good salesman, making great conversation. And it just turned that direction. I want you to know, I've thought about you. I wish I could say I was the kind of devout believer who does this, well, I prayed for you night and day. Prayed for you night and day. I didn't. I prayed for you a few times. But God doesn't forget just because we quit praying a little bit later on and get a little bit lax. He remembers. And he didn't quit on you. But I've always thought about it with you. I've always thought you're the kind of personality to be a great warrior for Christ. And just like Paul on the road to Damascus, he found somebody that he wanted. He said, you know what, this is the guy I want on my team. I think he came after you, Clay. I don't think you found him. I think he came after you. And, take that for what it's worth. That's just my little own, revelation that I've had.
No, I appreciate that, Scott, because, it's a brick road, man, and every brick in that road is important that got laid along the way to get to where I've made it. And when I say I'm just the voice here. I hope I represent a large group of people, and I hope I make everybody who was a part of that brick very proud, and because like I say, I just feel like I'm kind of the voice of the voiceless. I'm the guy who's not scared to get canceled and sit up here, and this is going to be my hill to die on, is sitting here getting this out there. The truth should never be controversial, but it's guys like you. It's just that little, kind of the reverse of a death by 1,000 paper cuts. You were a paper cut, along the way to me getting saved and getting out of that life and trying to live a godly life and to try to be a role model for myself, for my family, for my friends, and for complete strangers out there that may look up and say, hey, man, I know that guy. He went from alcohol and drug addict and nightclub owner and just overall bad guy to being a role model, to being somebody that I can strive. If he can do it, I can do it. And I think there's nobody else better to be able to look at and say, if he can do it, I can do it. Because if you had told anybody 5 years ago that I'd be sitting in this chair having this conversation live on the radio right now, they would have laughed you out of the room.
Yeah, because I remember you were in the big time, and you brought a lot of good talent, a lot of good concerts to town as a producer. You dabbled in a lot of that stuff and had a lot of success and could have kept pushing harder. And I think better than most what it takes to really have genuine success. You got to really sell yourself out. And I think at some point maybe you must have realized, that's my soul isn't worth, being a part of that scene just for the sake of being a part of that scene. And you're right. Daddies have a lot to do with that. And Roy was always somebody that I thought, he was just behind you and supported his kids, you and your sister, regardless. Was just going to be there as what a father should be.
Oh yeah, he definitely, all of my misdoings and wrongdoings had nothing to do with my parents. I was determined to do the wrong thing as often as possible. Hey, look, Scott, I appreciate you calling. I'll holler at you after the show. I'm gonna jump to the next caller. Love you, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. I hope you do this regularly.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Hello?
Miss Sylvia.
Yes, I wanted to be your first caller.
Well, let the record state that Miss Sylvia was the first caller, but due to user error on my end, I went the wrong way. But Jerry's an old friend, Scott's an old friend, but Miss Sylvia, I asked you to call the other day when I was on Kim's show, and I thought about you this morning. So thank you so much. I'm so excited. Like for this station, Miss Sylvia is a legendary caller. I mean, she calls every show. She stands firm, and she catches flack from people. And I just want to say thank you for being a supporter and a patriot, Miss Sylvia.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to say that I hope the Lord, may the Lord richly bless you doing this on the radio, and I hope that you'll be there for a long time and maybe even have more days. But I do want you to know that I want the Lord to richly bless you in doing this, in this new chapter in your life.
Well, look, I appreciate it. And look,
you're welcome.
I had to wipe my jeans off this morning. My knees got dirty down there praying for a good show today, and just and it's for some good luck from the Lord. And I appreciate it. The words of encouragement go a long way. I think everybody needs to hear it every now and then, no matter how successful or how arrogant we may get. It's always good to hear, from callers like yourself and people like yourself, Miss Sylvia. So I much appreciated.
You're welcome. And just remember that I am a patriot. I'm also conservative. I'm also a Republican, and I happen to be what folks call black. I don't like that term because I'm not a crayon. I wasn't created that way. But anyway, since that's what they say,
I know.
Then,
contrary to popular belief, I don't like discussing race either, but it just seems to be something that is every day thrown in our face, every other second thrown in our face. So it's hard to not have the conversation, but I appreciate you don't let that nothing like that define you.
All right, good. You have a great day and a great show.
All right, Miss. Thank you so much. WYAB, who we talking to?
This would be Ray calling from Oklahoma, Clayford.
Larry. Ray. Boom, boom, dowdy. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, brother. Just wanted to give you a call from Oklahoma and tell you I'm proud of you.
Well, look, I appreciate it. Are you out on the road? You driving a truck?
I am heading on an I-44 east towards Joplin, Missouri.
Sure. Truckers for Clay Edwards calling in live. I love it. Look, man,
I've always supported you, brother. You know that. You're family to me.
You're absolutely family. Look, let me tell you this, man. I want to thank all the truckers while I got you. If you're out there driving a truck, you guys are the backbone of America, and we appreciate what y'all are doing out there running the roads, keeping the supply chain alive, and keeping toilet paper in our bathrooms and food on our shelves.
Well, we appreciate y'all because without y'all, we wouldn't have a job.
All right, look, Ray, I'm going to get cut to a break, brother. Look, stay safe out there and stay in touch.
Will do, brother. I'm proud of you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be coming right back here on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show here live in the Generator Power Solutions studio at 103.9 WYAB. And on the Black Axis throwing line phone number, I've got Mr. Dixon. Dixon, how the heck are you?
Brother Clay, God bless you. It's so good to hear you on this morning, and I wish you all the best, and WYAB is proud to have you, man. You keep up the good work.
Hey, brother, look, I'm going to tell you what, man. You have been such an inspiration getting to sit beside on Tuesdays with Kim, and I know I've dirtied up the room a little with my off-air bad language, but I'm telling you, man, I went to church twice this weekend, and I've got me a little swear jar here, and I'm going to get better because I shouldn't talk like that around a absolute 5-star man of faith like yourself.
Well, look, man, you keep on being an inspiration and keep on telling the truth, and God's going to be with you.
Amen, brother. Look, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Be blessed now.
Yes,
Bye.
sir. You too. All right, caller, you were on there. Who are we talking to?
This is Sylvia, and I won't be long. I forgot to say that I'm a Christian first and then an American second.
Amen. Look, I even wrote this down on my notes. I said I was going to describe myself. I said I'm a son of God, albeit a flawed one, a husband, a father, and a patriot in that order. So, Miss Sylvia.
That's great.
Miss Sylvia.
But that's all I wanted to say because I don't want Matt to get mad at me, so I'll get off the phone.
All right, Miss Sylvia. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right. So, man, we sure do appreciate all of our callers there, man. That is great. Sometimes you're nervous when you step in. You're like, is anybody listening? So, look, let's pick back up on the 6 things that men struggle with. We ended with, well, the first one was the dad wound. That would be father issues. The second one was the lack of manhood vision. That is just what it takes to be a godly man, a husband, a father, a role model. We went over those things. 3, this is a big one. We all deal with this. Anybody who says they don't deal with this or has not dealt with this is lying to themselves and to whoever they're telling that to. Unprocessed trauma. Unprocessed trauma. It is something that I struggle with. Have you ever Maybe you got passed up for a promotion and you just buried that. Maybe you're fighting maybe you went through a divorce and you just bottled it up. I'm really bad about bottling things up until I explode. And people all the time are like, Clay, you sure do post a lot on social media. You post a lot of stuff. Well, me posting on social media is my way of kind of releasing the pressure valve a little bit so I don't bottle things up. And this also ties into number 7, and I'm going to get to that. But unprocessed trauma, man, guys, if you've got something weighing heavy on your heart, heavy on your shoulders, you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And unprocessed trauma also leads to a lot of suicide or thoughts of suicide. And this is probably the most important one on here, in my opinion. Talk to somebody, man. Talk to me. Sometimes the best conversation is with a complete stranger because you don't feel like they're judging you. It's like, I can just put it all out. There's nothing wrong with going and seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything like that. It really isn't. Talk to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is. Does not matter who it is. All right. Number 4. This is a big one. God knows I've been through this one. Addictive habits. Look, and we always hear addictive habits, and the first thing we think about is drugs and alcohol. And those are absolutely addictive, destructive habits. But there's other things. Porn, food, even exercise can be a addictive habit. If you're doing too much of it in any form, fashion, or the other, when it's taking away from your work, your family, your godly deeds. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it every day. Work has become an addictive habit for me, working to get to this point. Now, my wife works a lot with me, and I wouldn't be here without Crystal. She has busted her butt with the Save Jackson stuff. She's just a little more behind the scenes, but just being a supporting wife and stuff. But it's an addictive habit. I work 10 to 12 hours a day at a day job, and I go work 2 to 3 hours a night, and every day off doing this. That's really time that I should be spending with my family. And I know that. And it is a sacrifice that we've all made to pursue my dream of doing stuff like this. So keep in mind, addictive habits. It's way more than just drugs and alcohol. Just reassess. You don't have to look in the mirror on this one. You've got something that you do too much of. And don't let the fact that it's healthy fool you into thinking that it's not an addictive habit. Okay. Number 5, not enough close friends. This is a big one. This is a real big one here. I'll tell you what, we're going to, here's what I want y'all to think about. Not enough close friends. Do you have enough close friends, 6 of them to be exact, that your family could call on to be pallbearers for your funeral? If you died today, would you have enough people to carry your casket that your family could say, these are Clay's close friends? I know without a shadow of a doubt I can pick them up like off the top of their heads. Because once you're gone, that drinking buddy, that football buddy, that friend on social media, that coworker that your family don't know, well, they're not going to know how to call them to ask them. I mean, these are like real life, like people you associate with. I do, and I've actually got more than 6. I like to think, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to name them right here. Corey, Lee, Blake, Chad, Jake, Trig, Chops. I talk to some of them every day. I talk to some of them once a year. But my family knows that if something happens to me, they can call those people. And I know there's going to be somebody that says, Clay, you forgot about me. And I'm sorry. I wrote this down at 10 o'clock last night, right before I went to bed. But do you have 6 people, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're close enough friends with that they could be your pallbearer? And I'm going to back that up just a little bit here to something less morbid. And this goes back to unprocessed trauma. Do you have a friend that you can pick the phone up and just call and discuss the stuff going on in your life? I had some stuff I was going through recently, and I kind of let it build up. And I called my friends, and I talked to them about it. And it was such a release valve to hear somebody else say, "Man, it's going to be all right, dude. We all go through this stuff." So keep that in mind. Look, we've got a caller here. let's jump in on the Black Access throwing line. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. All right, we don't have callers. So, with that said, I guess they hung up. All right, so again, close friends are so important. And if you're just tuning in, we're discussing the 6 things that men struggle with as men. Number 1 was the dad wound, father issues. Number 2 was lack of manhood vision, like what it takes to be a godly man, husband, father, role model in your community, all that stuff. Figure out a plan to get better at all those aspects of your life. Number 3, unprocessed trauma. Anything that you've gone through that you've bottled up and you're scared to talk about with somebody. All right, hang on. We got a caller here. I'll get this caller stuff figured out. Y'all bear with me. It's the Clay Edwards Show anyway. All right, look. Number 5, not enough close friends. And number 6, here's a big one. Number 6, spiritually stuck. I know that we all were churning along and we thought that we were just doing great through 2020. And then 2020 happened and it caught me straight spiritually slipping like a transmission. And we have to get over that. You know, it put me in a bad spot. I let myself go. I was drinking too much. I was worrying too much. All these things. And I'm telling you, it's a dangerous road to go down. Get your spirit in check, your spirituality, your relationship with the Lord. You know, and this goes back to the lack of manhood vision. Get your manhood vision in check. And let's just try to be better men. All right, hang on one second. We're going to go to the Black Access throwing line here. I do believe I've got a caller now.
Clay, what's going on, man? Jason Anderson here. How are you this morning?
Hey, brother, Mr. Lakeland Glass and Tint. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. I'm excited for you. I'm tuning in. We got the whole shop listening this morning. So I want to just touch base a little bit about what you're talking about. So, you know me, I've been a motivational speaker for the past several years, talking to high school students all around the country. And I'm going to tell you, what you're talking about is a direct seed to the problems that we're seeing in this country. These are all issues that every single kid faces from a very young age, and they carry it. And when we get to high school, it starts to come out. That's why we see human trafficking. That's why we see bullying. That's why we see people talking about each other. It just goes on and on and on. And it all stems from exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. You know, as I was making this list the other night, I busted my phone out in church taking notes because I didn't bring a pad and a pen, so I was using my notes. And I thought that they were looking at me like, why is he on his phone? I'm like, no. I promise y'all are going to like this later. So, Jason, tell us real quick, man. You're involved in some ministries and stuff. Tell the people what you do.
Okay, so outside of being an entrepreneur and a businessman, I actually work directly with Say Something School Assemblies and Free International. So what we do with Free International is we are combating human trafficking all around the United States. Actually, we're sending about a 20-person team to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl because that is one of the largest times for human trafficking in this country.
Hey,
believe
Jason,
it or not, when you have a large...
Jason,
yes, sir.
We got to take this break. Can you hold through the break?
Absolutely.
All right, hang on one second. All right, we are back here in the Generator Power Solutions studio with Jason Anderson, owner of Lakeland Glass and Tint, right there in Flowood. Man, look, if y'all need a glass or a windshield or anything like that, quality matters at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Give them a call today at 601-946-1000. Jason, are you still there?
I'm here, brother.
All right, brother. So pick back up where you were leaving off about your ministry.
Yes, so two things I work directly in is Say Something School Assemblies, and what we do is we travel the entire United States talking to middle school and high school students about issues that are starting to rise more and more, and a lot of that's bullying, teen suicide, drug, alcohol abuse, human trafficking, and exploitation. And the topics you're pushing this morning have a lot to do with all of those. And, you know, for me, I was bullied a lot when I was in school. I grew up very poor. We didn't have a lot. We had enough to get by, and people wanted to make fun of me for that when I was a kid. So I decided I was going to do better for my life, and when I did better for myself, I decided I'm going to get out here and I'm going to help students. So in the last several years, we've spoken to almost 500,000 students across the United States, and I'm telling you, the daddy issues, the parent issues, that is where every bit of what we're seeing in our youth today come from. So this needs to be talked about. Just like you said, a lot of parents have no clue the harm that they're doing to their children. They just don't realize it.
No, absolutely not. Look, Jason, I'm going to give you a call off the air, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. And you guys go check out Lakeland Glass and Tint right there on Lakeland Drive in Flowood, where quality matters. Give them a call today at 601-946-1000. Led by a man of faith. Love you, brother. Be good.
All right, man. Much love. Bye.
All right, so we're running out of time here, so I'm going to expedite this. Number 7. Number 6 was spiritually stuck. You know what that means. I don't have to tell you. You know, I'm telling you, 2020 caught me slipping spiritually like a bad transmission. And it took me a couple months, it took me to about the last month to really get some things back in check. And I feel way better about 2021. I'm just going to pretend 2021 starts today on February 1st. I feel like I came out of the weekend more spiritually in check than I have been since, say, March of 2020. All right, number 7. And this one, I added this one in. They didn't discuss this at the ministry meeting the other night at the men's conference. It is being too many men are mentally and physically weak. And I don't mean that as an insult, guys. I battle it too. I mean, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm a big guy. I don't consider myself a weak man. But mentally, it happens to all of us. You know, we avoid confrontation at all costs, and it's not even physical confrontation. We avoid verbal confrontations. Man, talk it out. I swear, man, there's guys that beat me up when I was a kid, or I beat up, or whatever, or we just fought and neither one of us won the fight. I mean, those guys I consider my best friends nowadays. Sometimes you just got to have that confrontation and get it out of the way. Have it, verbally. Have it with your wife. You don't always have to agree. You don't want somebody who always agrees with everything you say. I don't need that. I don't need a yes person around me. I want somebody to say, Clay, you're being an idiot. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. That's why the people I named, my 6 pallbearers, 7 pallbearers, and my dad, those are people that I trust to tell me I'm being a clown and it's time to stop. So get those kind of people in your life. So look, something fun we're going to do here every week. It's called the Dumpster Fire of the Week. And it's brought to you by the brand new Dumpsters of Mississippi rollback dumpster service. They'll be up and running here by the end of the month. A good buddy of mine has it. You can reach them at 601-966-8599. Go by the Facebook page, Dumpsters of Mississippi. They're getting it set up now. If you were doing a remodel at the house, a spring cleaning, and you've ever seen those big rollback dumpsters? Well, they have a smaller version of that available that'll fit right in your driveway, right on your street. You can fill it up, and they'll come pick it up and go take care of it being dumped for you. It's going to be a great service. They're new to the market, but born and raised Mississippians. Again, Dumpsters of Mississippi, 601-966-8599. Now, my dumpster fire of the week here is if you've been on social media any since about Thursday or Friday of last week, you have seen the Jason Collier story. Jason is the former Texas police chief who was arrested for faking documents to facilitate affairs with his mistress. Look, you're just going to have to Google Jason Collier, but this guy had at least one wife, 2 or 3 different complete families, and multiple fiancés, and was coming up with fake documents to get an annulment from his wife to be with his fiancé. And he got put on blast, got busted, and everybody figured it out. So that, my friends, is the dumpster fire of the week. Look, I want to thank everybody for tuning into episode 1 here. If you called in and I got hung up on, I apologize. If there were any technical difficulties, I apologize. It's going to take me a little bit to get the swing of this. It's a one-man band in here. It is crazy. I love it. You can follow me on all social media platforms at SaveJXN. Be sure to check out Black Axis Throwing Club in Flowood on February 20th. We're going to have our big show launch party with Chad Wesley playing live. Check out Dumpsters of Mississippi, Lakeland Glass and Tint, Generator Power Solutions, and all of our other sponsors. Again, thank you all so much. Praise God. Give him all the glory. 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 Give him all the glory.